Welcome to segment 6, and this evening we're going to talk about Paris and the terrorist attacks, and kind of what does that mean for us? And the actual event, the numbers are still, I don't think they're set, are they?
No, I don't think we really have a firm final death toll.
We see everything up to 160 or something.
Right, Pam Geller says 166, but that was yesterday, and today I saw 140.
What we know is there was this coordinated attack, obviously coordinated attack.
6 different sites across
Right.
Paris.
A theater, a restaurant, some other locations. Anyway, suicide
Near
bombers.
soccer stadium, inside a restaurant, and other, just as other locations.
What time of night did that happen? Because I know I was watching it on TV, and I'm thinking like, well, that seems pretty late in the evening for a soccer game.
Under the lights.
Well,
yeah.
But Europeans, they eat dinner at 10 at night.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
they just have a different.
It just seemed really weird when I was watching.
Cultural.
Like, really, like an hour ago this happened, and they're playing, and it's dark out, and it's 12 something.
Yeah, the Europeans have a late lunch and
Very late dinner.
a very late dinner, yeah. And it's a big deal. Dinner's like a real big deal. Anyway, he hasn't made. The president of France declared a state of emergency and closed the country's borders. What a novel concept. Interestingly, close the borders not to prevent people from getting in, and
To
people
run the bad people
from getting out. Right.
There's something to be said for that.
Exactly. And ordered a curfew, and he's activated the French military. They're in Paris.
Right, they spread out.
Yeah. Now, Obama, we certainly don't want to miss an opportunity. Never let a crisis go to waste.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Obama said from the White House, he called the attacks an assault on all of civilization. Quote, once again we see an outrageous attempt to terrorize innocent civilians. This is an attack not just on Paris. It's an attack not just on the people of France, but this is an attack on all of humanity and the universal values that we share. It sounds like Churchill.
Yeah.
Okay? We were so death on the beaches of Normandy. This is the guy who's been saying, Muslim, no, there's not, no. Workplace violence, it's no. There's not a thing like that.
Yeah, and then yesterday, Saturday, he said that the Islamic State is not getting stronger. We have contained them.
Obviously, they're in Paris. They have contained them in Paris. That's right. Say anything about John Kerry, which is I find very interesting.
Yeah, I thought his quote was very interesting. Vague, but could be construed as a call to arms.
Absolutely.
He said, those of us who can must do everything in our power to fight back against what can only be considered an assault on our common humanity.
Now, this is the guy who back in the 70s testified before the Senate when he was, I think, a captain in the Army. It was River Rat.
Right.
And testified how we were committing atrocities in Vietnam, the likes of which this is his sentence, the likes of which have not been seen since Genghis Khan.
Mm-hmm.
What a scumbag, okay? Just a classic scumbag. Now he's apparently, if you read English, saying, you know what, maybe we ought to get our act together on this one.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, this is vague, but it sounds like a call to arms to me. As a 2A person, it sounds like a call to arms.
It certainly sounds like it to me. And these guys went into that theater, big place, hundreds and hundreds of people, 2 guys with AKs, right?
Yeah.
And started hosing people down.
Yeah.
They reloaded apparently 3 or 4 times. Now, I'm just having a really hard time.
No, and we also don't know, is that 3 or 4 times total or 3 or 4 times each?
This reminds me of when we landed in Sandstrand, Greenland, and the pilot says it's minus 65 degrees. And the woman across the aisle from me, we're all journalists, the woman across the aisle from me goes, Celsius or Fahrenheit? I'm going, what, if it's Fahrenheit, you're gonna wear a bathing suit? What the heck is the difference? You know, okay, fine. Now, but
I don't think Celsius goes that low, to be honest.
I don't know. I'm not sure. It doesn't matter if they reload it 3 to 4 times each or total. The point is, if you have several hundred people, and in the middle of it are 2 guys,
Right.
I don't care what they're carrying. When they go to reload, it's time to take them down, okay? That's the most vulnerable time, and the guy with a gun.
Right.
Right.
Now, I doubt that went empty at the exact same moment, so you would have had to contend with somebody who had a gun. You got 1 guy with a gun now,
Right.
okay? You're beating the living crap out of the guy with the unloaded gun, shoving the gun down his throat.
But you gotta get like 8 or 10 people coordinated.
Great.
To do this.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's
Let's go kill him, okay? Okay, let's go do that.
But the point that you're missing, and I know you're missing it on purpose, is they're French.
Surrender monkeys.
Yeah. We're talking about Frenchmen here,
That's
not
true.
Americans. If
Yeah,
we were
that's
talking about Americans, these are the people on United 93 like, let's roll.
Yeah, that's
Right, some of them might still be carrying guns even in the no carry zone.
I read somewhere.
Or like the guy in Oregon that we were just talking about, the veteran in Oregon who was unarmed and he jumped the gunman anyway. And he got shot like 6 times and he's like in the hospital going.
Or the guys on the train. The guys on the train.
The guys on the train.
I mean,
yeah. Again, Paris.
Yeah, right. Here you got a couple military guys and a civilian guy, and they see somebody go into the job armed, and they go, "Oh no."
Well, and he was in there too long.
Yeah.
Like he was acting funny and he was in the bathroom way too long. So when he came out, they were ready for him.
Yeah, they just stand outside the door, and he stepped out and they just nailed his ass,
Yeah.
which is great. And I love the comment of the one guy, military guy, who was on vacation. And he goes, "I'm begging him on vacation. This is great." You know? This is not funny. It isn't funny, and
We obviously don't think it's funny.
Yeah, but I honestly don't get that mentality.
Well, and you know, this actually just struck me in the moment. 3 attacks that the news bothered in America to pick up. The Charlie Hebdo,
Yeah.
which was actually 2 attacks at the same time.
Right.
There was also
Store.
a Jewish grocery store attack at the same time. The train, which was apparently a lone gunman.
Yeah.
And now this. So I mean, Paris has some explaining to do, right?
No, they don't. It's a gun-free zone.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, if I'm a Parisian or even a French person, period, they got some explaining to
You
do.
did that. First of all, they have been inclusive.
Yeah.
Welcome. And then these people move in and take over a neighborhood, and you can't go in it anymore.
Right. The police can't even. go
Exactly.
into
And
You see a lot of these videos on YouTube too, that.
is what?
You see a lot of the videos on YouTube with them intimidating people.
Yeah.
Just like with knives and bats and things and like.
Oh, and they have like Sharia
course.
enforcement.
Yeah.
Right.
That the enforcement, they roam the street
Right.
looking for infractions of Sharia law, which is typically against women. That-
Oh, of course. Yeah.
You know, pretty
Yeah.
much typically against
If
women.
you can tell it's a woman, she's doing something wrong.
Probably.
Merkel in Germany is saying we have to be tolerant. Are you putting me on?
Yeah.
How much more blatant can you get? And you know, here's the thing. Our president said we shouldn't rush to judgment. Are you kidding? This is reported about we shouldn't rush to judgment. They're yelling, these 2 guys, Allah Akbar. How many Jews do you know that say that? How many
No.
Christians? Ever heard a Baptist go Allah
We say
Akbar?
aloha snake.
No.
Oh, there you go. Okay, that all by itself to me is pretty
In
damning.
the South, they say bless your heart.
Bless your heart, sweetheart.
That's not as bad as it gets here.
And one of the jihadists in there reportedly said, "I'm from the Islamic State." That's sort of unambiguous to me. I'm from the Islamic State, Allah Akbar, and you start hosing people down. And our president goes, "We don't rush to judgment."
Yeah. This article is by Pam Geller, who we talked about on the radio portion. She points out that Obama said that we have contained them, and she says, he's either in an early stage of dementia or he is one of them. I submit that it is the latter. In either case, Americans must be ready. Lock and load.
Lock and load. And I think we're saying that this segment is about what is the effect on this country.
Mm-hmm.
They have been very specific to say that we had a lot of people in the United States in different cities.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing you can
And
say,
Illinois is one of the
It's one of
places
them,
where
that's
they
right.
said we've got people in Illinois.
All right.
the one thing that you can say about ISIS
We got
is
people
they
in
tell the truth. Huh?
So we got people in Illinois too.
Well,
Yeah.
ISIS, to the best of my knowledge, hasn't lied about anything.
Right.
They're very proud of what they're doing.
Oh, yeah.
And so when they say we have a lot of people in the United States, and I forget how many cities they said, 15 or something?
So, yeah, 15 cities,
15.
71 different sites.
Yeah. I believe them.
Mhm.
I believe they're telling the truth.
We've talked about this on the show in the past, that a lot of the places where they're doing training are rural. They,
Right.
you know, they said they're in 71 different places, and a lot of those are rural areas where they've set up
It
camps.
doesn't mean it's where they're actually staying at. It means that's where they're training at.
Well, true. And,
That's training camp.
a lot of them, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of them are living there as well. They're
Right.
little Muslim communities, but yeah, so some of them are cities, and then there's also a lot of rural areas.
If you ask me, that's perfect. Because you can just like drop a small tactical nuke in that training camp,
Yeah.
gone, wiped out one group. Here's the problem. We're a ripe country for this because we have all of these laws to protect criminals so that they're not unjustly
Right,
put in jail.
right.
It doesn't apply to these guys.
No,
That shouldn't apply.
it really
I
doesn't.
don't remember the name of the general, but it was a week ago, wasn't it? He was on and he goes, you want to get rid of them? Here's what you do. You go wherever they are, you wipe them out completely. Wipe out their family, kill the dog,
Mhm.
burn the grass,
Right.
lay waste to the city. And then you go to the next place where they're at and you repeat. And you do it until every one of them is dead. And if 10 years from now they reemerge, you start all over and do it again. And the fact is, that is the only way
Right.
you're gonna do it.
And it's so funny that you say that, because I was just talking about that with my dad at home yesterday, and I said, you know, when I was in school, they lied to us about what the Crusades were about.
Oh, yeah.
They said that it was, you know, that it was unjust, that the Christians, you know, had done wrong, and that it was the white man's burden, and they were trying to evangelize, you know, the dark-skinned people. And that it was very bad, it was very wrong that they had done that. No, that's not what it was. It was this. It was Muslims killing Christians, persecuting
For
Christians.
hundreds of years.
And the British and whoever their allies were at the time said, we've had enough. And they went out and they slaughtered them.
If that
And
went
it's
on,
time for another
the
crusade.
Muslims did that for hundreds of years
Yeah.
before Christians finally said, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
And so that nonsense about the, you know, white Christians came racing after them, that is a bunch of crap.
Yeah.
That is not what happened at all.
Right, exactly. And that's why King Richard was a hero in England. I mean,
Which, yeah. Sorry.
but I mean, you know, he was
Wiped out the Muslims.
one of the leaders
Yeah,
of that. And so, but yeah, it's interesting because Richard Pearson is on the same page as Pamela Geller. And
That's a surprise.
not really, but I've never really heard Pam Geller say lock and load before, but it doesn't really surprise me that she can say that. But Richard Pearson says the apparatus to launch a Paris-style bloodbath is already in place here in the United States, and he recommends that you assemble a family defense arsenal consisting of one or more semi-automatic rifles, one or more 12-gauge pump-action shotguns, and one or more semi-automatic handguns. Everyone in the family should know how to use them, and be sure that you have sufficient quantities of the proper ammunition on hand to defend your family.
I'm covered.
Yeah.
Um,
You need to drill some guns over to the Fritz household. We've got a shortage.
there you go. Yeah.
Just, you know, unload.
You know, I've been saying now for a couple of years, I don't like this, it's not looking good, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Time's coming.
Can impression's good for the soul, go ahead, tell them.
Yeah, time's come. If you don't have a concealed carry permit, you're stupid.
Yeah.
This stuff,
And it takes like a month or 3 to get it, so get on it.
yeah, it's gonna break open. I know it is. It's gonna break open.
Yeah.
You know, we talked about it. It's gotten to the point where I don't wanna go to places where there's crowds. It's not worth it. And you know me, I'm not really real big on it anyway, so it's not like it's a terrible change in lifestyle.
Right.
But they're not gonna like come to your door and try and knock over your door. They're going after where they get
They're
big
going.
body counts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know, a concert hall, a soccer game, you know, these are,
Yeah.
you know, or specific targets, like Charlie Hebdo was targeted because they had
Political cartoons.
they had published
Right.
anti-Muslim things.
So, literally, and I'm not saying this glibly, but literally, if you don't have a concealed carry permit, if you don't have a firearm in your home to protect yourself, you're looking for trouble. And you just are.
Yeah.
It's not if, it's not when. They're here now.
Right. Yeah. I was just thinking, you know, WIND has a lot in common with Charlie Hebdo.
I believe.
Well, again,
Sure.
if you're looking for body count, it's gonna be Monday through Friday. It's not gonna
Right,
be next
none
weekend.
of the weekends like here.
Don't call Joe.
It's not gonna be on our watch.
Yeah, it's not gonna be us. Joe Walsh, he's gotta watch out, but,
Plus, if they're listening, the Muslims would know, we roll arms, so.
that's scary in itself. Every time we walk in, have you ever noticed, I always let CZAC go through the door first?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Or me.
Or you.
Right, like, here, go ahead.
Oh, no, please be my guest, go ahead.
Baby before beauty.
He'll use me for bait. He's
Yeah.
perfectly happy with
If
it.
you hit the ground smoking, I'm not going out the door, I'm backing up, you know?
Yeah.
It is.
Although I know you would pull me back and take my gun.
I have priorities.
Oh, one of our friends on Facebook mentioned just now too, as far as a venue or event, is Black Friday seems to be one of his main concerns. You know, because everybody should be out shopping, so that's good.
That would be a
We're not
target
going to
rich,
Chicago.
that would be a
Yeah.
target rich environment.
We're not going to Chicago on Black Friday this year.
I don't know what I'll be doing on Black Friday. It won't be,
You don't want to
won't
go
be
to
in the
this
state.
German Fest thing?
Lots of soft targets.
It was
Black Friday.
delicious, but I'd rather not get murdered.
Some of that food's to die for, though.
It's not meant to be taken literally, David.
Oh, I'm sorry, I got that wrong. You know, you're really right.
Yeah, well, it's actually Thomas who's right about that. He's the one that brought that point up.
You weren't right, he was.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna take credit.
Props to Thomas.
Yeah.
He's an avid watcher of ours.
Say it one more time, I want people to get that.
Black Friday is the main concern he has. Lots of soft targets.
You know, on a normal weekday lunch hour downtown, it's a zoo.
Mhm.
We've been there 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
It's worse. I mean, it's unbelievable. They pack them in like sardines.
Yeah.
You drop any kind of a bomb in there, be high body count.
Yeah.
Really will be.
Another friend of ours also agreed that they responded to that comment. So yeah, I agree too that that makes sense about Black Friday.
And it would be a great political statement as well, because they hate capitalism.
And Christianity, it's
And,
ostensibly
well,
Christmas.
it's sort of the beginning of the Christmas
Yeah.
season, yeah.
Well, actually, being Christmas season is already passed. There are already trees up and stuff.
Oh, well, no, that's the unofficial, that's
Yeah.
that's the marketing, but I mean, like, the traditional start of the Christmas season is Thanksgiving.
Yeah. You know, our recommendation really
Yeah.
is
Yeah. They mentioned too, like about, a couple other events might be like, New Year's Eve at Times Square or like the Super Bowl, something like that.
they're high profile.
Yeah,
Lots of people. Times Square,
Sure.
thousands of people on New Year's Eve.
yeah.
Thousands and thousands of people on New Year's Eve. If you look at down here in Chicago, like 4th of July, the air show, that kind of stuff, it's gridlock trying to get out of the city when it's over.
Yeah.
There's over a
Oh
million
my gosh,
people go to that.
vacation night, what a nightmare.
So
But
those are
people don't
target
have
rich
that.
environments, I mean, you really gotta watch that stuff.
Yeah,
It's
it's true. I was telling our students yesterday, I won't go to a shopping mall if I'm anymore. There've been I mean, I don't even know.
Don't say it too loud.
I've completely lost track of how many shopping mall attacks there have been. There's been so many.
Yeah,
It's just such a common thing. And, yeah, I won't go.
Moral of the story is you need to be armed.
Yes.
I mean, I think that's the bottom line. Get some training. Of course, we could do it. But
Save USA.
wherever
Safe
you
for USA
are,
is an excellent option.
wherever you are, you need to do it. You really need to do it. And as Gretchen said, it takes time.
Right, you're not gonna,
Concealed
you don't
carry.
get concealed carry in a week or two.
No.
You know, the minimum is a month.
Right, you take the classes, 16 hours training plus send off all the stuff to get it, and you're gonna be waiting for it. So if you're thinking about getting it, get it right away.
Right. Our next 2-day class is in December. It's the second weekend of December. And then we have the 1-day class for people who have military experience. It's the third weekend in December. So, and that's it. That's it for the year. So if people want to do it with Safe for USA, they gotta sign up right away.
Sign up. Accept.
Especially that 8-hour class. Actually, somebody asked me about it on Saturday. He was a veteran and he thought he could just take half of the 2-day class, and I said, yeah, it doesn't really work that way. But yeah, we cancel that class a lot. So if you want to take the 1-day class, you really do need to sign up right away so that we don't cancel
I
it.
was going to cancel it because there's nobody in it right now.
I need them.
You don't feel you gotta have it come in. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
I mean, if people sign up, that'd be good.
I'm saying let them sign up.
One of the things Thomas also mentioned again too is about Black Friday, about there's gonna be so many different places that are gonna be so busy. And there's not really be much security at any one of those events.
Right.
Or
And
we could easily have
no
multiple
way.
attacks at one time.
Right, there's no way to know where they're
Yeah,
gonna
you get one
choose
guy
to
with an
head.
AK that wants to pull the front of one of these places that's got, hundreds of people in line waiting to get in to get their laptops or whatever stuff that's on sale or whatever.
Right.
And that's an easy way to do it.
Well, all you have to do is just carry a shopping bag and put a bomb, an improvised bomb.
Right.
And you go into the store and you just put the shopping bag on the floor, right?
And nobody notices because everybody's paying attention to their.
On that day, all stores are packed. I mean, it would be a really target-rich environment.
Yeah.
Note to self, not going anywhere on Black Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm shopping online. I actually saw somebody on Facebook that said I'm not Christmas shopping. Maybe it wasn't Facebook, maybe it was somewhere else. They said not doing any of my shopping in stores this year, all online.
And yet, here's the problem. You're penalizing stores because some idiot out of the Middle East.
Well, but also they don't provide sufficient security.
I suppose.
And having all those, if they have multiple attacks like they're trying to get, first responders especially, to multiple places at once might be a challenge.
Well, my recommendation, get a concealed carry permit, have a firearm for use in your home, practice with it. It's always a good idea to take a course, but I'm not trying to pitch the courses so much. What we always tell students is you don't know what you don't know.
Yes.
And that's the problem. You don't know what you don't know. And, we spent a lot of time studying this stuff. We figured out what you need to know. That's pretty paternalistic, isn't it?
No, I think it's okay.
It's okay.
Well, we get rave reviews. I mean, everybody, even though it's 16 grueling hours and 17 if you take Utah, everybody at the end says, I learned a ton in it. It was a great experience.
It's
So,
true. You do.
so even though it's really, really long, people do consider it to be a great experience.
We could still carry class, I'm sorry, because I was reading this.
Yeah.
I agree, yeah, even though it's 16 hours, you get a lot of good useful information out of it. And, what's better than getting training? I mean, you're gonna be carrying a firearm, that's like carrying something that is carrying, lethal force. So you wanna have training. A lot of people just think, oh, I wanna do a short class and get my license. Don't you wanna have training to go along with that?
Yeah.
I've been shooting my whole life.
Exactly, you get that mentality of people, or like, I know how to do this, perfectly fine or whatever, but, another thing too, Thomas mentioned again too, is about the big problem with this whole thing too, is they want us to be in fear, that's exactly what happens too by this event, it's like a terrorism thing.
Right.
And with the way our society is today, with a lot of people whining about it, they're kind of, or a lot of people that are, I'm not sure how to phrase this, how I wrote it, but anyway, just with the way our society is today, they're kind of winning it, in the sense of the whole idea of putting terror in us. So, yeah, that's mostly it.
I need to load my shotgun.
Reminding not to drive by unexpectedly. Any pithy thoughts?
I need to load my shotgun.
Yeah, actually, I got a shotgun on loan today from our friend Barry at the AT Arms for my event next weekend. As, long story short, running my mag-fed shotgun puts me in a different division for the competition this year, so I was like, hey, try this one out.
Do you have any, let's use that for home protection?
I use the AR-15 on my pistol
Yeah.
for home protection, sure. You know, it just depends on what we're, you know, what we're doing at the time, I guess.
Yeah, I need to know.
I have a flamethrower. I don't know if you saw this, the US Army has, this is really getting off topic, but we're gonna end now, so it's
I
okay.
got something else they have too.
The US Army stopped using flamethrowers and it made them available to the public. It's hard to even say that with a straight face.
They're good for clearing brush, and then, heck, there's a company that just came out with one you can legally buy. And it's
You
it's
can
not
buy
just
it.
cleaning your snow off your
You can buy
driveway,
it.
Oh, that's a good idea.
or getting rid of brush, but the problem is, in certain places, it's illegal. They're illegal to actually use it.
I wanna know if I can carry a concealed flamethrower.
Oh, no.
Give me your money.
In Illinois, the concealed carry law only applies to handguns.
So speaking of concealed carry, I got a message from Bree, a friend of mine, that, so that the show here is actually influencing her decision that she'd like to maybe get a concealed carry or get a license to be able to have a firearm.
Where does she live?
She's somewhere around near us, anyway.
Where?
Excellent.
Near us, in like the
Nearby.
suburbs. That's all I'm gonna say, but yeah.
You have any pithy words before we sign off here?
Not really, I won't be here next week, or maybe the
Yeah,
weekend
right,
after
you
that.
won't be here probably for
Yeah,
2
we're
weeks.
gonna,
Yeah,
we're gonna
two
take a couple
weekends.
weeks off from segment 6, because.
We'll do the show, maybe, but we won't be doing
Great
things,
money.
Yeah,
because only Rick understands how all this works.
technology, not their thing.
So, but tune in, we'll be back next week, and with more on Target Radio.
I'll be in South Carolina shooting weekend,
There you go.
so, all right.
Okay.